Stewart. And Bartlett in the way of it. Atkinson finding Webster, try to place it into the far corner. And then this free kick, what a chance that was for Daniel Green. Morris's effort wasn't handled particularly well by Bartlett. And then Green's header was wide of the mark. Then this late on, Lopez couldn't get by Clark. Held on to it. They went to extra time. Nothing happening in extra time. And then penalties. And two saves made, one by Clark and Bartlett, and then the final one from Bartlett denying Daniel Green. And Bartlett winning it.
Yeah, in the end it was a Piton boy, Shavina Bartlett, who was the hero for Cavalier D. St. Lucian, coming up with some big saves. Well, the man who nurtures the heroes who will wear white for Cavalier today, the technical director, Rudolph Speed, was the first man to be interviewed by Dwight Jeremiah.
Rudolph, it's often said in football, 9 out of 10 times you win the midfield, you win the game. You're up against a Dunbeholden midfield that many consider to be the best performing midfield in the league. How do you outperform them or even stop them being effective?
Well, we could just bypass them. That's one way. No, it's going to be an overall game. We will defend the best who's better in the attacking third. So, and today we come prepared to attack. So I think we'll be well served.
I want to get a little bit specific. In 2 games so far this season, yet to win, what are you seeing from your players leading into this game to suggest that today could be your lucky day?
Well, what has been happening is, as I said last week, is the first time I really have 20 players to choose from. Usually I'm very short-staffed. We have a lot of knocks, but at least I have 12 available bodies. So I know we have the talent, as always, even though some of them is very young, we have a talent. So once we execute, I think we should do very well.
You talk about having a full slate to choose from, 3 games now in 6 days, adding that extra time in it. Is fatigue a factor for you, and how does that influence your selection?
Oh, definitely is a factor, but we're not making a lot of changes, just probably about 2. As a matter of fact, you know, when we come back from the Caribbean Championship, we did play 5 games in 2 weeks, just the same. So it's the same setup now. So you have to say we're kind of acclimatized to it, and we're ready.
Adrian, you come from a rich footballing background with your dad playing for Waterhouse, Santos, Portmore. As a 15-year-old in this squad, preparing for a semi-final game, how do you feel?
Well, it's obviously a great feeling to be playing with the defending champions and a great set of young players, so it's truly amazing.
Well, many players your age would just be quite happy to be in this setup. Are you wanting to go out on the field today? You really want to get a game today?
Yeah, I would like to have my shot at the game today and show my talent.
Tell the viewers the position you play and what's your strength as a player.
Well, I play the central midfield and I read the game very well and I have great passing.
The Cavalier player to watch, Dwight, the speedy Dwayne Atkinson.
Yeah, he has 5 goals to his name in the season so far, and to think that after 10 games he had not scored in the league, always a dangerous player at this stage of the competition, and his speed will be a problem.
All right, the man who usually does the pre-game interviews for Dunbeholden, Ricardo Smith, was again on duty. Dwight posing the questions.
Ricardo, you're coming up against a Cavalier team that many consider to be battle-weary in terms of playing their 3rd games today in what, 3 days, and adding extra time to that. How does that influence your approach to this game?
It's no different from our team well rested, you know. Nothing is guaranteed, no matter how many days they just played a game. I know they're coming here today fighting, and we can't relax and rely on the last game they played and win. Just have to come out here and give a good performance of ourselves.
You're coming into the semi-finals on the back of a poor run in the regular round. Your last 6 games, just 1 win. How important was that 2-week break, and what was the focus during that time?
Very, very important. You know, we got the rest, as you said. We got time on the pitch, you know, to work on a few stuff. You know, we were constantly playing week in, week out, and you know, we got a little tired in the legs, and also, you know, but the 2 weeks, as I said, very, very, very important for us.
In terms of this Cavalier team, they found a formula at this stage of the competition. They're very compact, sit deep, look to play well in transition, but it's going to be frustrating in terms of trying to break them down. What's the solution? How do you find that?
Yeah, that's their game, you know. We know their game. They try to keep possession of the ball, you know, and try to play out from the back, and they're well drilled on that, and we realize that's their game, and we have a few things to counter whatever they're doing. I can't say on here, but we're just looking forward to what they come with.
Sean, first off, not in the starting lineup. How disappointing is that for you at this semi-final?
I mean, it's disappointing. I mean, in a game like this, any player would want to be out there, but I mean, the coach's decision, we just have to work with what he decided to go with today.
You and your teammates come into this game as favourites. I mean, how are you dealing with that tag? Is it pressure?
No, it's not pressure. I mean, it's football and anything can happen on the day. You know, the better team will win. What is important for us today is to get a good start, because we don't want to take too long to find our rhythm, because that can take a toll on us. So once we get a good start and play our usual football, I think we'll be okay.
You're not out there today, but in that back line, what would you advise to them today in coping with the likes of Webster, Atkinson, Campbell, and all the attacking power that Cavalier has?
I mean, it's a good defense unit just the same. I mean, what we needed to do is just to stay compact and stay disciplined and don't give away too much. And once we do that, we'll keep a clean sheet for sure.
Player to watch, Dwight, a tap for Roy Bygrave.
Well, his goals speak for him. In volume, it's just 11 goals, and with McGregor, a partnership that was drive fear in defenders.
All right, break time when we get back. The action will be live. Welcome back to Sabina Park in Kingston, Jamaica. The assignment, Cavalier and Dunbeholden in semi-final one, first leg of the Jamaica Premier League, powered by Digicel. My name is George Davis, working alongside Dwight Jeremiah. There are the boys of Cavalier wearing the crown of defending champions, and they've not been effervescent at any time during this season. They have been efficient, and what is to be said about them, Dwight, is that since their return from the Dominican Republic and their participation in the CONCACAF Club Championship, they have looked a better team, and they will believe that semi-final day means that they can show their credentials all over again. They mean business, Cavalier.
I think they do, and they've found the formula at this stage of the tournament. I take you back to last season when they went on successfully to win the title. They went 461 minutes without conceding. They always seem to try and be very organized and very difficult to break down. We're seeing signs of that at this stage of the tournament. It's going to be a long day for Dunbeholden, but then they're the best team equipped, you feel, to break this team down.
Absolutely so. Dunbeholden are potential history makers. They're a top Roy Bygrave. They're striking spearhead. No organic St. Catherine team has ever won the top flight competition in Jamaica where football is concerned. Yeah, Hazard United, Portmore United, they did that, but that's a Clarendon team that claimed Portmore later. Hazard won 2 titles in Clarendon before coming over to St. Catherine in 2001, then changed their name to Portmore United in 2003, and they won titles there, but no team that was founded in St. Catherine have ever won a Premier League title. Veralton Nemhard will be in charge, Richard Washington, Jeremy Singh on the flanks, and Nikita Nicholson will be the fourth official. Right? What is also interesting to tell the viewers is that on the point of St. Catherine teams and the history that Dunbeholden can make is this. Only 2 St. Catherine teams have played for the Premier League final. We can tell the viewers. Cavalier edged out Thunderbolts in 1980-81 when Cavalier won their first title, and then of course in 89-90 Reno beat Black Lions. So Dunbeholden on the cusp of history. Cavalier, Vina Bartlett, the St. Lucian, Giovanni Leng, Richard King, Nick O'Shea Murray, Ronaldo Webster, Dwayne Atkinson, Kenroy Campbell, Gadale Irving, Kyle Ming, Kimani Gibbons, and Melvin Doxley. Another St. Lucian in the starting 11 for Law Speed.
Yeah, it's good business for them to have brought in these foreigners into the team, and Bartlett in the playoffs was very, very good for them. But take a look at Webster, Atkinson and Campbell. They're going to try and worry this Dunbeholden team.
Here's Dunbeholden, a team that their rise has been meteoric. Damien Hyatt, 36 years old. He's the oldest man playing in this game for either team. Shaquille Dyer, O'Dane Samuels, Saniki Burton, Cleon Pusey, Baby and Blabber McCarthy, Demaria Phillips, Nicoy Christian, Matafaroy Bygrave, Peter McGregor, and Shaquille Powell for the veteran Harold Thomas.
Yeah, this team, beautiful on the eye, easy to watch, very slick in the middle of the park. Bygrave and McGregor, 18 goals between them. And if you add Phillips in there, that's another 5 goals. They're a slick team and they play well between the lines.
There's Nicoy Christian, arguably the best midfielder on show in the Premier League this season, and there wouldn't be many people arguing against that, I can assure you of that. But the assignment against Cavalier is clear. Dunbeholden must click into gear early and treat us to the slick football that they've displayed all season. Cavalier can be chameleon-like. They can go on the front foot and try to run teams in the ground, or they can play cat and mouse and hit devastatingly with the pace that they have on the break. Atkinson, early touch for him. And Gibbons running out of real estate. What is true, Dwight, is that this team, of the 22 players on the park, 14 of them are 24 or younger. Yeah, there are 3 30-plus-year-olds, all in the Dunbeholden starting 11. There are, in the Cavalier team, the average age is 21.36. There are 4 20-year-olds, 3 22-year-olds, 1 24-year-old, 1 23-year-old, and 2 21-year-old. The formula that worked for Rudolph Speed so well last year is in effect once again. And speak of the man, there he is.
Yeah, definitely. He definitely has the Midas touch with the youngsters, and did interview Adrian Reid, who is only but 15 years old and in the squad and is open to get a play, and for sure the confidence must have been given to him from Rudolph. But George, you talk about how they will set up. We saw Atkinson and Campbell already not engaging Dunbeholden deep, was employing a half press, looking to win the ball and then countering that space.
Yes, Dunbeholden, the average age 26 years old. Their goalkeeper at 36, the 2-time Premier League champion, Damien Hyatt, ex of Arnett Gardens, that's where he won those titles. The senior man on the field in terms of age and experience and trophies as well. First question for him to answer. The ball flighted in and he missed the punch, and at the back post it was Samuels with the clearing header. An early moment of danger for Dunbeholden. The boys in blue. Hyatt missed his punch and bailed out by his defender, who actually got a boot to it.
Yeah, that was a nervous moment there for Dunbeholden, and those set pieces are going to be critical for Cavalier as well. But Hyatt there will want to forget that quite quickly and make amends with this corner kick.
There's the veteran Harold Thomas, made his name as a Premier League coach with the outstanding Rivoli team he guided, and also have a view on his resume. Samuels with the clearance. This is Gadale Irving. Distinctive run, pigeon-toed Gadale Irving when he's on the sprints. Shaquille Powell forward.
Yes, already, as we said, we see Dunbeholden, as you rightfully said, George, they'll be looking to try and settle into a rhythm very quickly. And Christian, you talk about the youthfulness of Cavalier.
Burton's free kick. McGregor missed his header. Does well to keep it in despite the presence of Gadale Irving. And he wins a throw. Very good play from Peter McGregor.
Yeah, has done well since coming back from Sweden and trying to perform in a way to attract suitors overseas again.
Samuels' cross is blocked Atkinson closing him down. There's Peter McGregor. He's 21 years old, folks. Strong man. And good striker. I don't expect to see him for the next season of the JPL, even though I'd want to for his quality. But a player of his abilities ought to be parading those skills at a higher level, Dwight.
Yeah, he got his chance. Just injury was the downfall for him, but he's back in good shape now and really created history. I mean, he went straight from high school to Europe, not playing for a Premier League team at the time. He's here now trying to make a statement, and I agree with you, George. I feel he'll be better served to parade those skills.
Yep. Testament to how strong the wind is. Nicoy Christian spotted the ball on the wind, blew it away. Here's Christian once again. It's met by Phillips. Christian has another crossing opportunity. Switched to southpaw for a moment there, but the left foot cross. Left footed cross, not good. Webster hunting this down, but Dyer got there before him. Christian, lovely control on the line. Powell trying to play McGregor. Bygrave, his first touches. Still Bygrave. King intercepts with that long leg. Well, both his legs are the same length, and we're saying that his legs are long. Quick switch by Powell. That met with approval of the Dunbeholden faithful. Bygrave on the left. The cross comes in. A driven cross, blocked. It's the first corner for the boys in blue.
Yeah, and if there's ever a team, like I said earlier in the opening comments, that are well designed to really pick this Cavalier team apart in their low block, is this Dunbeholden team. They'll find those half spaces, and just that moment, just at the last minute there, Bygrave just peeled away from the defender and got an extra yard of space there to execute the shot.
Maybe we're seeing something, but because the two times Bygrave has touched the ball so far, Richard King has gone to him, and he blocked it for that corner just now. Maybe he has responsibilities. Yeah, poor from Phillips, and it's returned through the crowd by McCarthy, trying to get a nick for another corner, and it's gone behind. There's Fabian McCarthy, Premier League champion with Mobay United. We've told you that throughout the course of the season. The Costa Cup winner with St. James High, made his name as a centre half in this competition, and then he went to the UWI, and like Paul on that road to Damascus, Dwight.
Was converted.
Yeah, he went as Paul, he left as Saul. McCarthy from Mobay United as a dominant centre half to the UWI as the best midfielder in the Premier League. And there have been moments this season, there have been more than enough moments this season when he's looked that guy once again.
Yeah, certainly struck up a partnership with Christian in the middle of the park, and for sure Demario Phillips as well, and that makes the unit hard to bet against, to tout as the best midfield setup up or performing midfield in the league.
Here's Doxley, the St. Lucian, his first touch wide to Webster. Switching the play, but the Breeze carried the ball further than Irving wanted it. Acknowledges the effort nonetheless. Here's Ronaldo Webster.
Yeah, he's really had a difficult season in terms of goal scoring. Just 2 goals to his name, and since scoring against Mobay United in the 59th minute, that was match week 7, has not found the back of the net, and that was like the 28th of February. That's like 4 months almost to the day.
Thing is, you know, you look at Webster at 20 years old, we forget he's only young, and as you know very well as a coach, as we see the first offside call of the game, as a man who nurtures the career of many young players, you know that the one thing that almost all young players are, inconsistent.
Yeah, most definitely. So I have no doubt, because I'm a fan of his from he was at Stetson when he went to Wolmer's. Was just so exciting. Love to see him on the ball. Very good header of the ball in both boxes. So yeah, just a inconsistency you put it down to as well, George, and I do agree. We're going to see Webster back to his best very soon, you feel.
Yep. These teams separated by 9 points in the Premier League table over the course of the campaign. Played each other twice. Dunbeholden won both games, but today they are standing on even keel. The boys in white won't be daunted in the least. They took down a team in blue in the previous round. Mount Pleasant. Here's Bygrave bursting down the right. Can he fashion across? It's blocked by Ming, who's upset with the quality of the defending from his teammates, and he lets Giovanni Leng know that you didn't meet the standard just now, teammate. Come on, you need to lift that standard, as he now moves to organize the defense. There's Leng answering back.
Yeah, they know that they have to be on point here with the likes of Bygrave bearing down on them. Second in the goal scoring chart behind Daniel Green,
who's gone home for good.
Yes.
So Bygrave can run clear. Here's Christian. Met by Ming. Ming came off at half-time, almost on the stroke of half-time in the second leg against Mount Pleasant. I thought he was injured and would be missing from this game, but these young players, their powers of recovery are miraculous at times. Bygrave battling turns. Can he fire? No, he can't, because Ming was there to rob him at the crucial moment.
Yeah, I think King has to give Min some credit there. Bailed him out because Bygrave just peeled off him, was able to turn and look to pull a shot off, but Ming was just right up into his face very quickly.
Doxley goes long with the breeze, carrying this far and farther than Kenroy Campbell could sprint. So into the 10th minute, Cavalier from Kasafa. Dwight in 48 seasons of the Premier League in Jamaica under various guises, but still the Premier League. Kasafa teams have won 30 times. Rural area teams have won the other 18 times. And you wouldn't be surprised to know that between 86-87 when Seba won and 97-98 when Waterhouse won, that 10-year gap between those two moments, rural area teams won 10 times. So that was their purple patch.
I was searching for that purple patch again, myself being from there.
Yep. Adada got there 2 in that period. Vile Kickers got there 2 in that period. Seba got 2 there, and Reno got 3, as we see Webster on his bike. Gets away from the challenge. He needs to look up. Webster, can he find the pass? Tracking back was McCarthy and kept in, but there's an injury, and Veralton Nemhard goes to see about Ronaldo Webster.
Yeah, I think just because he got clipped there and the referee played the advantage, just a delay in getting the ball across because he was feeling the effects, just allowed McCarthy to recover and just get that block in place.
Clipped by Pusey, and for a moment Pusey was looking around wondering if the referee would penalise him, but good recovery run from McCarthy, tracking the play. As we look at the veteran Harold Thomas once again. No coincidence that when he was off the island, Dwight, Dunbeholden had the bad patch you referenced in that pre-match interview with his assistant Ricardo Smith.
Yeah, I did ask him to in one of those games. I was on call and I interviewed. I asked him if it was because Harold wasn't here, and they said they'll have one game without him being here. But yeah, for sure, I think no coincidence that it coincided with that. Harold Thomas, a really good tactician. You spoke about his exploits before here at Dunbeholden, being at Harbour View. But certainly, Rivali had said,
yes, sir.
He really did his thing.
Colin Anderson going through his paces, just in case Webster is a horde combat.
And it's not a bad replacement to get out there. Colin Anderson, 7 goals, leading goal scorer for Cavalier. And I think Rudolph's Speed just keeping him to get on later. He would prefer tired legs and for him to run at them.
There's no doubt Webster will leave this game. He won't. But there's no question he will leave this game. He won't leave. And he signaled to the referee Nemhard that he's ready to re-enter. Still hobbling, but at 20 years old he'll be fine. We're at Dwight now. He'd need a stretcher and some tourniquet to stop the bleeding, all of that.
I might not have made it on the field in the first place.
We're still looking for Phillips. Well, easy for Parker. How big was his performance in that second leg against Mount Pleasant, especially in the penalty shootout?
It was huge, and those big saves really came up trumps for them. Wasn't the best throughout the game, but still had some big moments in the game and came up big for them. And I remember was man of the match back-to-back in regular season games. He's a very good goalkeeper, good shot stopper. Now and then he may falter, but like you said, youthfulness, only 22 years old. Yeah, inconsistency there, but no doubt there's quality in him as a goalkeeper, and I expect him to really blossom as his career progresses. But yeah, was huge in those playoffs, and one would say partly the reason they're here.
Yes, sir. Dara, the skipper, bursting onto defense, looking for a pass. Bygrave gets it. Good touch, a turn away from Ling. The ball. Pinballing around for a moment. Here's Christian. Fusing out. He's a good cross. Shinned by Len behind for a corner.
We've seen a couple of times this Dunbeholden team looks to play the ball, just whip it into the box, but there's a lot of white bodies inside there, and they're going to have to be more approach, more finesse in terms of picking those spaces and try and play those one-touch, two-touch football and pick up the pace and move those bodies around quicker.
Christian again. The first two corners he took, Dwight, were left-footed, and he's parading his quality. He's going to do it as right-footed. Pings it to the edge of the area, looking for Burton. And yeah, we've seen those outscored before. Paul scores to David Beckham at Bradford in the English Premier League, but this one not quite of that standard.
Yeah, but yeah, you talk about Christian there, and you recognize that there's Cavalier tends to have a lot of bodies in and about that 6-yard area, so just using it, going for the outswinger just to give his team more space to execute an attack on goal.
Murray Campbell overlapping his Gale Irving. Samuels after him in a flash and gets a tackle in. It was a dicey tackle, but he got all ball. Lucky lad. Slid in and effective in the end. Atkinson taking forever to organize the corner. Maybe he was taking some instructions from Rudolph Speed as he was walking over.
These players were taking their time getting into the box as well.
Yeah. 7 Cavalier players in the box. It's a poor corner. That's a bit early by Christian. McGregor turning away from Irving. Does he have the wheels to go further away? McGregor on the sprint. Irving nipping back at him.
Yeah, just needed to go across Irving there just to get in his way. Didn't really take that step to his left, and in so doing would have blocked the path or the progress of Irving, but just allowed him to run alongside him. Once he did that, McGregor is always going to give Irving a chance, which he took.
McGregor quick, but Irving proving that he too is quick. So in terms of the Cavalier approach, Dwight, are you approving of this start? For me, it's a bit low octane, but low octane is not a criticism because it may be what is needed to blunt the impact of Dunbeholden.
Yeah, and it's quite, to me, expected, owing to the fact that this is their 3rd game in 6 days. They played extra time with that as well. It wasn't so easy for them, so I didn't expect them to come out blazing. And also, it's in keeping with their style at this stage. Like I said, last season, in going on to win it, they did go 461 minutes, not conceding a goal, and so doing, they played in a low block. They were very organized, and because they have quality, they play well in transition going forward. So pretty much up the alley that I expected from Cavalier.
Well, just now Richard King spooked by a tough Roy Bygrave on his shoulder, kicked that one behind for a corner. Rarely see King doing that. Usually he'd turn away from his attacker, but taking no chances, the young man, 20 years old. Senior reggae boy already, and he can look imperious at times. Phillips with this corner to the back post. It's missed by Samuels, who ventured up from his defensive station.
Yeah, just a little too long that corner kick.
But question for you, coach. So which would be better? 3 tough games in the period the Cavalier have played them, or Dunbeholden putting their feet up for 2 weeks? Because guess what? There'll be one team who, if the game is played hard, or however the game is played, the lungs will start burning. It won't be Cavalier because they've been in battle. Dunbeholden have been resting. Who really has an advantage in that in that sense?
I think we have to take it game by game or team by team, and for this game I think Dunbeholden were quite happy to get those 2 weeks. Where you look at their form coming into this semi-final, 6 games, just 1 win. They had a lot of injured, thin squad, and so really needed the rest. And for me, that was ideal for them. For Cavalier, as Pete said, they've acclimatized themselves to playing a lot of games in regular time.
Balls in wide range again, Gibbons. Heavy touch from the Webster pass. Dyer battling away, losing it. Gibbons stripping him of the ball. Dyer battling back. They're playing their way out of defense. Dunbeholden through McCarthy. Goes long. McGregor and Leng this time battling. McGregor felt he was fouled. Referee Nemhard agreeing with him.
Yeah, that was definitely a foul. But yeah, I feel for both these two teams, maybe ideal for them in terms of their situation. Dunbeholden having a thin squad and Cavalier youthfulness will allow them to be able to cope with it. The amount of games in such short period of time. Ideally you want 72 hours to recover, but you can do stuff to speed up recovery. McGregor there definitely was checked.
Christian is taking this free kick left-footed, so he's been switching between feet. Corner kick, it's flicked forward, it's a goal! Peter McGregor has found the back of the net from Nicole Christian's free kick curling, and it was easy for McGregor to find the net from that position. Nobody jumped with him, and the hitman for Dunbeholden has hit first and hit hard. Dunbeholden 1, Cavalier 0.
When you talk about Christian, and you spoke about it twice, George, about him using both feet, keeping the Cavalier defense guessing as to whether it's going to be an in-swinger or out-swinger. But on that occasion too, when we look at the replay, when he comes up, Bartlett, who we spoke about, who was very good for them, found himself in no man's land. He came, then he realized he wasn't going to get there on the top of his 6-yard box, wasn't going to be able to effect play. Had he been on his line, I think he would have been really able to effect a save on that one. Wouldn't be easy, but I think he would be better able to prevent that one going in the back of the net.
Question for you though, coach, and seeing the replay that our director Spielberg, Michael Edwards gave us, why is Kyle Ming marking Peter McGregor? Why it's not Gio Leng or Richard King, the men with the superior height? Why aren't they the ones picking up a man as deadly and potent in the box as Peter McGregor is the question I'd ask you.
And King may say he had Bygrave to deal with. We see where...
So where was Leng then?
Exactly. So the matchup not ideal, and in the end McGregor was always going to win with that type of duel, and it's something that the coaching staff, whether or not the instructions weren't followed, but in the end they're seeing it in the goal scoring column.
Samuels bravely into that header. Ricochet Murray. No, Irving can't get around McCarthy. And the St. Catherine boys have punched first.
And it's from a set piece, George. And when you have a team playing the way Cavalier is playing, set pieces were always going to be significant for Dunbeholden. As we see Speed here, not pleased with the setup, maybe, as you're rightfully say, George, not pleased with how they set up for that set play. But set play always crucial when you have a team sitting deep.
And it's not necessarily a matter of height, because Kyling is not a short fella, and he is a top player. We agree on that. I'm just saying that my specialists in that area from that position. So King has Bygrave, fine. But Gio Leng or somebody has to be on Peter McGregor, and I say that because by the time McGregor's had flicked the header goalwards, King hadn't even jumped yet.
Yeah, you talk about specialist position, and as a coach, you ask the question too, George, and we see some of the time.
This is what happened now, Dwight. Look at this. Look at McGregor. I mean, he's well beaten. It's almost as if he didn't challenge.
In fact, I don't think he was close enough.
That's the point. That's the point I'm making.
He wasn't, and so wasn't even marking McGregor, and that was poor from him. Was closer to goal than to McGregor. And in a situation like that, as a coach, sometimes we say you don't have to win the header. You just need to nudge the player in flight to cause him to just be off balance, so he can't execute that so well, not close enough to be able to do that. And yes, defensive lapse there.
I didn't like that setup at all. And Cavalier may well have an inquest on that if the score stays the same at half-time. Anyway, here they are, Webster again, chalk on his boots, he's tied to the line. Here's Gibbons.
I'll tell you what, George, as a coach, when we have those type of goals scored against you, it's one of those that you're really irate about, because you weren't split apart, you weren't taken apart by a brilliant play. Those are very much avoidable. Yeah,
but White, I can accept if you are out-jumped or out-muscled by McGregor. I can't accept you not challenging him. Not
close there, yeah. The starting position was poor. By the time he decided to move towards McGregor,
the ball was beyond him,
yeah. Most definitely.
Not very often you criticize Kyle Ming for anything. Not very often that he makes a mistake. He did make a mistake on that one.
And you know what? I think this team at Dunbeholden can also give Cavalier a taste of their own medicine. 7 times before now, they've won by a single goal to nil as well. They can grind out results and they can block teams out.
Bad pass by McCarthy, putting his team in trouble. Here's Campbell inside, it's blocked. And Christian beats him with a 50-50. Christian showing off his ambidexterity as already in this game. Free kicks and corners, left-footed, right-footed, keeping the defense guessing. He has an assist to his name already. He really is a crowd pleaser, Nicoy Christian. He knows people come to watch him, and he puts on a show.
And why not? A lot of persons, they talk about Premier League not having players that in the days you'd watch a Walter Boyd or Theodore Whitmore or Pelly Wilson. He's one of those players.
Yeah, those are outstanding names. But if you watch the Premier League week in, week out like us, we know that there are players in this league who are worthy, who are worth coming out to watch them.
Cephas and Deacon, another crowd pleaser.
Yep. Well, the crowd pleaser extraordinary.
Just a pity. I'd love to see them here, and I know you took it harder than I did.
Oh man, I tell you. Irving fouled, and in rolling over, clashed with Pusey, and he's holding his face, Gadale Irving. Don't know if he was struck or he collided with Samuels. He'll be fine. Christian with the first tackle, and yeah, crashing into Samuels.
And you talk about talent and youth in the Cavalier team, and George, when you look at a 30-year-old in Christian and performing at the top of his game, he just seemed to have more time on the ball than most other players on the park.
That's always the hallmark of a special player. Always. They said the same thing about Zidane. When he got it, it's as if time stood still. He could do whatever he wanted.
Yes.
Christian has that about him.
Yeah, he sees the game in slow motion, they say.
Ball in, went behind, crept behind. It's a goal kick. So, if you are Speed, Rudolph, or any part of the technical team, do you change anything now for Cavalier, or do you keep it as it is? What do you do?
It's only a goal in it, and you're not going to open up to allow this Dunbeholden team to pick you apart. So you keep it as long as it's a goal to nil. You still have a chance of getting back into the game. Could be a set piece similar to Dunbeholden going ahead. So I'd stick with it and not twist as yet. And I say yet because other condition or situation may dictate that a switch-in may be required.
Murray turned it over to Bygrave, who finds Christian. What can he produce? Pusey was giving him the overlapping run, but was taking forever to get there. Christian flicked forward by Bygrave, but into the arms of Bartlett. Immediately he goes for the long ball, trying to get Webster running. And Webster beats Dyer to it. Needs help, Webster. Campbell must go back. Irving. Gibbons is wide on the right. Switch doesn't come though. Doxley tries his luck! And got good power on it. but the direction not bothering Damien Hart in the Dunbeholden goal in the slightest. They didn't even treat it with nonchalance, not even interested.
Yeah, but we know he has a good shot on him, but that was well wide. He lined up 2 goals side by side. He might have missed the second one. But Dunbeholden would be pleased with Cavalier looking to take the shots from distance. But one thing I saw in that build-up is with Webster, I think Cavalier have to create more 1v1 situations with the wing-backs of Dunbeholden.
Excellent pass by Doctor to Webster. Gibbons. Ball inside, cleared by McCarthy. McCarthy has almost been like a third centre-back at times so far in this first half, Dwight. The number of clearances he's made from inside the Dunbeholden box is testament to that point.
Yeah, most definitely. That's what you want from your holding midfielder. He has to play and drop into that position. Once one of the centre-half goes out to challenge an attacker, then you need to have him drop into that position and become a third centre-half. As we see the challenge there from McGregor.
The proverbial striker's challenge, they say. Kyle's been feeling it.
One that a sports coach would be proud of.
Sir. The wind carrying this one longer than King intended. He's upset with someone, but he really ought to be upset with the wind, Richard King. So how do you play it as Harold Thomas? Do you ask your boys to go for the jugular or to just continue what you were doing before you got the goal?
I think they continue to do what they do before they got the goal. I mean, it's always going to be difficult for them with the numbers behind the ball, and they're going to have to be patient and pull it apart. The Cavalier is not changing the way they're approaching the game, and so to go hell for leather, there's going to be a lot of turnovers. They look to just try and play ball into the box.
Christian, released by Pusey, has time to pick across. Can he find the mark inside the defender? Pops it with the left foot. Bygrave off the shoulder, and a high boot from Gibbons, who kicking the groin area for his troubles. Burton perhaps berating Bygrave for taking that. He wanted it to come to him, and I thought that Burton would have been in business, because look at him, he's right behind Bygrave. He wanted that to come through to him.
Yeah, maybe he didn't give Bygrave the call.
Another thing I've noticed, Dwight, and you can say if it's by tactical happenstance or otherwise, Shaquille Dyer, the captain, as we see a man down for Dunbeholden, he is in a left back position defending. That's what he's been doing all game. He's been picking up Webster on that left side. Yeah, that's where he's gone. He's not defending as a centre half. And then McCarthy's dropping back into the middle, almost like a centre half. Explain to me what's happening there defensively for Dunbeholden.
I think what they realise as well in terms of the wide plays, that Cavaliers are very good and tricky players coming down those areas. They want good defenders to square off against them, and especially in those 1v1 situations. You talk about McCarthy dropping in because they've decided to ask one of their centre backs to go wide because of the defensive exploit. Just as how you spoke about the marking, you want your expert on the marking, and that didn't occur. You definitely want your better defenders to take on those wide attacking players, and I think that caused McCarthy to drop into the middle of the park. So far to good effect, but I think Webster got the better of him in the last play.
As we look at the goal once again, and McGregor, the back header. The goal was gaping because Bartlett had come outside his 6-yard box. See him there, 8 yards from goal, goal empty, unguarded. And McCarthy's flicked header found it.
So double challenge there. And also, George, what you do sometimes is, what I was saying that Cavalier would want to do is to create those 1v1 situations. Now, because Dunbeholden will not want to have that, then at times a centre-half will go across to create numbers up.
Campbell kicked. It goes down screaming.
The whistle was belated.
Yeah, Verizon them had almost as if he didn't believe him, and then said, well, all right, I'm convinced by the screen. And from our commentary point, it was clear he was whacked by O'Dane Samuels. Yeah, clear kick. So when Dunbeholden are in the resting defensive position, if there's ever such a thing, Dyer is central, but whenever Cavalier are attacking, he pulls wide, almost as left back. So it's a continuation of what you are saying and why they're doing.
Yeah, they don't want to create those 1v1 situations.
Murray spears it to the back post. Meet and drink for big Damian Hyatt, who falls on a teammate who feeling the effects of that. Hyatt, a hefty man. In the country, they describe him as tall and trapped in, meaning tall and strapping.
Yes. Spot on there, John. Spot on. You're a countryman, it seems.
There you go. A hybrid, sir.
What is going to be interesting to see, continuing your point there, is whether or not Samuels comes across to the right side. What has been happening is that Cavalier, a lot of the attack has gone down at their right side, which caused that to go across to the left. And we see Samuels, he did come across here. Again, I think they want to create numbers up because they understand the skillfulness of the Cavalier wide players.
Yep. Irving has been battling Christian, who's not much, but Christian has done a lot of defensive work so far in this half. Other tackles he's won, as we see Pusey pushing over Irving. And now Nemhard, the referee, having a conversation with Pusey, saying perhaps that the next infringement I'm going to book you. You've been guilty of too many niggly fouls. He's the one who kicked Kenora Campbell just now. Perhaps walking a tightrope. Here's Nickashay Murray taking some instructions from Rudolph Speed as he delivers this free kick. One sense is he's going to go to the back post. Yes, he does. Again, meet and drink for Damian Hyatt.
Has not been troubled by this Cavalier team, apart from that early flush where he came out and missed the ball from that free kick.
Yep.
Unbothered.
Yep. Shaquem Powell whistling for the foul into the back of Gia Leng. Here's Leng pinging this one forward into the path of Campbell. Samuels goes across to confront him. Campbell's cross. And the height. Giving himself some work to do, perhaps trying to hand a riposte to one Dwight Jeremiah.
Yes, he got some work. But we did see, we did ask the question whether or not we'd see Samuels come across to the left side, and there he has. He just did come across as well. So it's a feature of their play because they're attacking their wing backs. Stay a bit high as well.
Difficult ball for Pusey to control, and he didn't control it. Samuels down for McCarthy. Gave it to Christian in a tight spot. Ooh, lovely Christian through the legs of Doxley. The crowd loved that. Christian on the sprint. Doxley getting back at him. Christian, he loves the showboat, you know. The crowd loved that. He's gonna watch it on YouTube later, the highlight reel. This is Powell battling away. Ming. Clash of knees with Nicoy Christian. Christian feeling the effects, and then Irving is fouled by Shaquem Powell.
I think Daxter was trying to find some reprieve there, was trying to get back to see if he could win the ball, to say, okay, I got it back. It's very difficult to get it off, and the fans, as we saw them, they're very, very happy, excited with that.
My producer has to find it, because here it is. He wins the ball here. Oh, lovely. The spirit horse left Melvin Doxley's body as he ran back to tackle.
I was reminiscent of a certain Messi on a James Milner.
Oh yes.
It's like somebody told him he was coming over his shoulder.
Oh yes.
But definitely a crowd pleaser.
Campbell. Good run. The cross comes in. It's blocked by Dyer, who comes across from left to right. The skipper policing the entire defense line. Bygrave runs back deep to win possession for his team. Christian upended by Ming. And Samuels down. Nemhard wants some time to attend to check on him.
I think what Cavalier will have to do to try and counter these two centre-halves going wide is to try and play it wide just the same, but get it back back into the middle with overloads in the middle, because as it stands, it's McCarthy who drops into that central position. Christian is not good. The top of the penalty box of this Dunbeholden defensive area, play it back inside, see if they can have numbers up and see if they can cause some problems.
Yep. Christian, clash of knees with Kyle Ming just now, and then the left ankle. They've gotten a knock. .30 years old, and I can't understand why Nicoy Christian can't get into a CEEN Reggae Boys team. The midfielders that we have there from foreign and local are not better than him, and only the Lord knows why this man can't get a national call.
And I dare them not because 30 years old, because it's performance that we select for the football. Football is a talent sport, and for sure it's the performances. And at 30, he's outperforming players much younger than he is.
Yes, it is. It pains when some second, third or fourth rate foreigner comes and gets a game, and you know that there are local players who are better than them, as we see Webster going down, hurt from the Mario Phillips challenge. Webster still down.
Before they come and attack you that you are against foreigners, just to know
they
that
can come.
just that they know that you speak as well, that even local based players are getting a call ahead of him,
that's the
that
point.
are not as good as he is.
Yep. Here's Richard King, long way away from his defensive station, and he goes to pop one across to find Campbell, who acknowledges the effort, but King frustrated with the quality of his own pass, and it's been a frustrating afternoon so far for the talented number 4 for Cavalier.
Yeah, I think without speed, he spoke about the fatigue, he's concerned, but his team has acclimatized to it. I really think this Dunbeholden team, because it's a team very good in possession, will cause Cavalier to chase a lot. I think it will definitely come to haunt them, the number of games they've played.
He said something to you in the interview, Dwight, and I was wondering if he misspoke. He said he feels good to have 12 fit bodies to choose from. I said 12? Which means that apart from the 11 on the park, there's only one man on the bench who's in good shape to participate in this game. He must have misspoke, because it can't be that he has 12 bodies depending on this afternoon.
I think he quickly went on to try and say 20, so I don't know, we'll see whether or not he recognized that he was giving something away and corrected.
Irving's cross into the dangerous spot. And we've told you that the central midfielder has been dropping back almost as a third centre half, middle centre half, and it was in that position again that he tracked back to make the interception.
Well, he's definitely telling you that he hasn't forgotten that duty, having started out in that position. He's always going to be tracking back, but that's crucial. I think it was getting away from it had eluded Atkinson, so it was just whether or not there were Cavalier players beyond him.
Disappointing from Campbell again. Christian robbed by King, and then he fouls him. Christian. King taking kindly to the time-wasting tactics of the Dunbeholden boys, and he's getting handsy. Richard King leaves the scene of the crime. Grabbed his foot, Christian did, and the King thought about stamping him for a minute.
But good sense prevailed, yeah. Christian was just a little bit too casual.
Yes.
He will want to see this one go away, as if they were to concede from the set play, and I think Cavalier need to do better with the set play, because they're not getting a lot of attack from open play.
Murray once again with this delivery. Can he find a man in a white shirt who can do the business? Dunbeholden's goal came from a free kick. Can Cavalier find their equalizer from a free kick? 7 men in white shirts in the box. Goes to the back post, and it's a poor effort from Nicoche Murray. Very poor.
Yeah, and Widow Speed is letting him know all about it. You certainly have to do better, and a lot of players committed. Just need to put it in that mix zone, in that danger zone, and just ask one of your players to get onto the end of it and create something. In the end, didn't give any one of them a chance. just not on their game today, both attacking and defensively.
Sends this one long. Bygrave flicks it on. McGregor on the chase. Calm from Irving and Ling. Giving King work to do. Look at Dyer again in that left back position, guarding against Webster, but he missed his kick. This is Atkinson. Dyer got back to clean up. McCarthy goes early to McGregor. So what he was trying to do was trying to backheel it onto the onrushing Ling and win a throw. Didn't work. Christian back to Samuels. McCarthy. Don't know about you, Dwight. I thought the field could have taken on some water to help the players. Not that the surface isn't good. Ling grabbing McGregor with both hands. The Dunbeholden fans want a card. Nemhard reading the riot act to Giovanni Ling, saying no more.
And he'll do that for as long as he possibly can, Nemhard. Having studied psychology, he's going to try and control and manage the game in a different way, not using the cards. And I think Cavalier number 3 there, Ling, was very irate with, I think it was Irwin further up, just not applying enough pressure, not preventing that pass coming towards him.
Christian, right-footed free kick this time, headed away by Ling. Mario Phillips has been quiet by his standards so far. Whips this one, trying to find the Christian. Doesn't have the wheels though to get there. Just overhit, to be fair.
Yeah, very quiet Phillips, but you know, that's not a good sign for, well, maybe good in the moment for Cavalier that he's not on it, but if Dunbeholden is as dominant as they are, and without his input, then it could get worse if he was to come out in that second half, as we see just a minute indicated left in this first.
Here's Atkinson. He hardly called his name in this first half. McCarthy hunting him down, and he dribbles it behind the goal line and separated.
In this situation, McCarthy was a player coming across to assist Samuels, but again just not wanting to be outnumbered Dunbeholden in those wide areas. And Atkins not pleased that his teammate got in his way. I think it was Campbell.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, it got in his way.
Golden Boot winner in the CONCACAF Club Championship in the Dominican Republic, Dwayne Atkinson. And in the team of the tournament, despite Cavalier playing fewer games than at least two of the teams that went all the way to the, well, the two teams that went all the way to the championship game. That's how good he was over there. Veralton Nemhard has seen enough of the first half. Dunbeholden, a case of control and decisive play. Peter McGregor scoring the game's, well, the only goal of the first half. Dunbeholden 1, Cavalier 0. That's the score at halftime in semi-final 1. First leg action, the Jamaica Premier League, powered by Digicel. So 1-0 at halftime, Dunbeholden leading Cavalier. And we get into the first half highlights now. Early. Missed the punch, did Damien Hyde. And Sam Rose was there to clear with Doxley lurking at the back post. And that was the only bit of trouble for Dunbeholden over the first 45 minutes. Here's Bygrave driving at King. And King gets the blocking, gives away the corner. Shaquille Powell finding Bygrave. And the danger man, the top marksman for Dunbeholden. And here, just a decisive moment. Peter McGregor with the back header from Nicoy Christian's corner. Goalkeeper Barker out of his box, 8 yards away from his goal line. And there was nobody to prevent this from running through.
All the spectators from the North Stand, they know the feel of good money for coming and watching the film.
One shot on target, Peter McGregor's header, which turned out to be the game's only goal. 10 fouls in the game, 6 from Dunbeholden in the first half. 52% possession controlled by the St. Catherine team.
Let me hear some nice Cavalier. Let me hear some nice Dunbeholden.
Alright, so we're at Sabina Park for the first leg semi-final between Cavalier and Dunbeholden. At half-time, it's Dunbeholden 1, Cavalier 0.
I also want to big up JPL. I want to big
Back we are at Sabina Park, drawing closer to the kickoff of the second half of this semi-final first leg clash between Cavalier and Dunbeholden. Dunbeholden leading 1-0. As we give you a splash of the fans that are in attendance. They stand to the left of our commentary point, filling up nicely, and the fans are here for this game, and there are some Harbourview fans in here as well, along with some fans of Waterhouse. Now, how did Harbourview get through to that semi-final meeting with Waterhouse, you may ask? Well, they played Arnott Gardens over 2 legs, and the second leg they overcame the Junglists 4-3 on penalties. We have those highlights for you from that game.
Dramatic end to a wonderful evening of football. Staples deliver inside. Trayvon Reed, well, he wanted to do over there. How did he miss from just outside the 6-yard box? And then the mistake from Edwards, and Shamari Dyer pouncing to get his first this season. The centre back doing well inside the 6-yard box, and the Stars of the East were ahead. Trayvon Reed was quite good. What a challenge that was though from O'Neill Anderson. Arnott Gardens had an opportunity here and they converted. That was a decent finish from Earl Simpson. Wonderful technique to place that one in the back of the net. Defenders on the line, they couldn't touch it. That was 1-1. Timar Lewis with a diving header wide of the far post. And then a second yellow card shown to Jashawn Anglin, and he was sent off. That almost an own goal from Anderson off the bar. And then this acrobatic effort from Colorado Murray. No problems for Edwards. Fabulous save that was from Anthony Bennett there, moving across to his right and just putting that around the post. And then, well, talk about youthful exuberance. A bit of crazy from Bennett. Reed, it was always going to be difficult to convert from there, but still a chance for Arnott Gardens. Clark came on as a sub along with Reed. Wanted that to have been a better ball to Reed, but again another fantastic save by Bennett. Again full stretch to his left, and really just fantastic stuff. Converted his own penalty, did Anthony Bennett, and then right after that, first time view of Arboine putting it over the top. Can't believe it. And with that, the Stars of the East made their way through to the semis of the Jamaica Premier League powered by Digicel.
Back we are at Sabina Park for second half action in this first leg semi-final between Cavalier and Dunbeholden here in the Jamaica Premier League powered by Digicel. Dunbeholden leading 1-0 from the first half. Back we are underway. Conditions here at Sabina Park. The wind is still strong, as it always is at this grand old venue. Comfortable for the players. And these surfaces, though looking a bit dry on top. The ball is running rather well here at Sabina Park.
He did ask if it could take some water on it, and from the looks of it, yes.
Maybe the groundsmen were loath to do that though, Dwight, because of the rain that has been around. So they said, well, why wet it from the tap when we can have the rain do its job? But the rain didn't quite come. So they gambled and didn't quite come up with didn't quite come up with the winnings.
So I think for the second half, what we'll see, Speed did say that he came here to attack. We're going to see in the opening 5 or so minutes just the shape on them, whether or not they commit more players forward and look to engage Dunbeholden higher up the park.
There are some cliched statements that attach to sports. One of them I'm going to repeat, and much as I hate the cliche, it's true because McGregor racing through. Lovely tackle by Kyle Ming. Excellent by the captain. Wasn't there for the first half header that McGregor scored, but certainly was there for that challenge. Also important that could turn out to be.
Very, very good challenge, and you talk about this Dunbeholden team, that's what they're good at. That one pass broke 2 lines and almost set McGregor free, but that was a very good, well-timed challenge from Ming.
Phillips clipped further upfield, so it's a free kick to the boys in blue. And the cliche was that in a 2-legged affair, you can't lose the tie in the first, you can't win the tie in the first leg, but you can lose it. I hate to say it, Dwight, but it's true.
I totally agree. When, as a coach, when I'm playing, I always want to use that first leg to head run goal by McGregor.
Ooh, didn't miss by much, but you'd fancy him to back it, or at least require Fios Barklett to make a save from that position. And again, why was he unmarked?
Yeah, again, King was very vocal there. He felt that his defenders were switched off on that occasion. It was Gibbons who was behind him and should have challenged McGregor. He was allowing McGregor the free space. It could not have been King's mark because King was in front of him, or if he was badly positioned. And McGregor would be disappointed there that he did not at least get that one on target.
Yeah, meanwhile Damien Hyatt is down for Dunbeholden. We're not even 3 minutes deep into the second half yet, and the big goalkeeper for Dunbeholden has a problem. But there's something, Dwight, rigor mortis about this Cavalier team, especially the defense, not moving with the suppleness that the Dunbeholden boys are moving, and that is clear evidence of one team having been in battle 2 hard games before today in 6 days, and the other team having their feet up for the last 2 weeks.
And also a continuation of what Cavalier has been this season, very inconsistent. Only once they've had back-to-back wins in this league, and for sure, twice they've had back-to-back wins in this league, but they've been very inconsistent in terms of their performances. And defensively is something that we say we expect them to come into this game and display, because at this stage of the tournament, that's what they tend to do. As we see, maybe nothing physical with Hyatt, just maybe not feeling his usual self, just trying to get his neurons firing, awaken.
Your granny would say that bad feelings take you.
And when you said that, I remember the conversation you had about trying to find the word sapping. Yes, definitely. Just a little bad feeling there. The Jamaicans will understand that.
There you go. Burton with this throw. And our Caribbean viewers as well, right?
Yes.
And those in North. Oh, lovely play from Ricochet Murray through the legs of Peter McGregor. So it's a lovely salad. And the first man in the book is Saniki Burton, and that's a frustration yellow card from Veralton Nemhard, because he's been talking to so many players, entreating them to tread the road of caution. And Burton, look at that, that was lovely from Murray.
Yeah, just making sure that at least on that count they're level with Dunbeholden. I did see Christian doing one on Doxley.
Dwayne Atkinson, the man feeling the pain. There's Burton. He's 24 years old, Saniki Burton. Hip check on Dwayne Atkinson has floored the Cavalier frontman. There's Rudolph's speed. He won't be perturbed by the fact that his team is a goal down. I'll tell you that there are, including this, 3 halves of football left to navigate at this stage, so he's fine. The veteran Harold Thomas there making his way to the bench.
He would be fine as well with the scoreline, but is he rightfully just on your cliche about not being able to win from the first leg, but losing for sure. And I've seen it so often. Even when I'm in semi-finals, 2-legged games, then you definitely want to go into the ascendancy. You want at least a 2-goal lead coming out of the first one, and then into the second leg, you ask your team to ensure that the very first goal in that leg is yours. Then you have that cushion.
Irving goes with one. Samuels missed his header, but Dyer was there to block you. Oh, it cannoned! Ricocheted off Kimani Campbell and just over the bar. That would have been a comedic own goal from Dunbeholden.
Really, it's
well, it wouldn't have been an own goal; it would have been Campbell's goal. But yeah, you get the.
Yeah, definitely. Campbell knew nothing about it in the end. And you see the clearance here. Yeah, just looking to boot it, and Campbell just putting his body on the line here and almost got the reward for it. All resulted from a mistimed header. I think it was from Samuels.
Yes, it was.
But that's the fragility of the 1-goal lead. Just to show that anything can happen. And Cavalier is right back into this game. So you feel for Dunbeholden in the second half, they would want to go ahead. You talk about the next goal. And the next goal in this game, they'll want it to be theirs.
Powell almost gave the ball away under pressure. Here's Phillips. Ducks the foul.
We'll keep an eye on Phillips to see if he comes to the party and give this Dunbeholden midfield a little extra spark. Was pretty much quiet in the first leg. That ball very well, got his body between man and ball. That's a little one way to get to it was to go through him.
Yeah, Phillips in that first half was like a man invited to a party by someone who knew someone who knew someone. So he didn't want to really, make his presence felt. Just wanted to stay on the margins. Whips this one in and he goes too long, too hard. And McGregor asking him what the devil was that. He apologizes.
You talk about the story of being invited in. I have one, but some friends of mine William Nib a lot of weddings used to be hosted there, and
lovely by Doxley, robbing McGregor at the vital moment, and he goes down and smacked in the midriff by Christian, who gives McGregor an earful. He has that side to him, Nicole. Christian can be a real grumpy fellow.
Yeah, even with his own teammates at times.
Well, that's exactly what he did. It was his own teammate McGregor who got that.
McGregor was giving, got you. Yeah, he's like that. Takes nothing to get him going.
You were talking about weddings.
Yeah, and my friends used to turn up there, and I said, how could you turn up at the wedding and you weren't invited? He said, well, they're big weddings and they're 2 families, and they're not quite sure which family we're part of, and they're not going to come over and ask us who we are.
Irving with this cross, and Burton had to be on his job because Webster was lurking. And remember, Dwight told us at the top of the broadcast that Webster is good with his head in either box, offensive heading or defensive heading, and he was just waiting to pounce on that one. This is Irving's cross, another wicked cross from Gadale Irving, and Burton doing what was required.
Yeah, Burton had to get a touch on that one. Webster was just lurking there to get his head. It would have been just a tap in with the head. Burton doing his duties there, just tucking in from his left back position, becoming a centre off because the central defender was pulled out.
Flicked by Murray, cleared by Dyer. Dyer again. King. Nobody in particular, just wanted to keep it in the danger zone. McGregor hustling after this, but ball beat him out. It's a good tactic though. Good logic to it. Two big families. Nobody will know where you're from. If you're not one of theirs, you'll assume that you're
one of the other
with the other clan, yeah.
And they're not coming across to ask you.
No.
I think we're seeing a little bit more here from Cavalier in the second half.
I was about to ask you that.
Yeah, they're committing more players from open play to try and get back into this game. So I think engaging Dunbeholden deeper, and I think for most of this second half so far, have done more than they did in the first half, in trouble in the back line of Dunbeholden.
Lovely by McGregor to Bygrave, who's offside. I'd love to see that again though. I thought McGregor had the chance, Dwight, to play the ball a little bit quicker than he did. Not saying he didn't play it quickly, but I think he could have played it even quicker.
Well, if he's deemed to be offside, which the official said, then yeah, for sure, once he could have, then he should have played it a lot quicker. But that one must have been close though.
Roving, can't get around Samuels.
And forced to do a lot more defensive in this second half here, Dunbeholden.
Yeah. Could have been a little bit more instinctive from Peter McGregor, but he thought about the pass and then made the pass in those situations. You have to just fire on instinct.
Yeah, and I think both himself and Bygrave, they've really put a good partnership together, so telepathically he should know where he's moving.
Yeah, strong run by Murray, ended by a crunching tackle from Samuels. He's gone down hurt. Both himself and Pusey have done a lot of defensive work. We say this and we say that, Dwight. We must say that Dunbeholden defensively have been sound so far in this game.
Yeah, they have been, and like I said, it's 7 times in the regular round that they have won games by a single goal to nil. So they're slick in possession, but they do know how to grind out results, and has shown in those games that they pride themselves on keeping a clean sheet.
Awful throw from Samuels though. It's another Dunbeholden. Actually, it was Pusey, the guilty man. McCarthy being told to keep a cool head by the referee. Here he is, using his head to good effect. McCarthy very acrobatic. McCarthy racing, battling King and Ming, and the King-Ming partnership win the day, and then Christian going shoulder to shoulder with Ming. The young man not approving of Christian's attempt at winning the ball. No attempt to win the ball from Christian.
I think he's arguing that it's shoulder to shoulder.
No. Those challenges though aren't automatic free kicks though.
No, because I think it was close enough and could have been called that way as Christian wanted it to, which we've seen referees sometimes say, get up, you need to be strong.
Atkinson, glorious pass to Gibbons, and he can't control it. That's disappointing. It was a raking pass from Dwayne Atkinson, and Kimani Gibbons not showing enough desire to get there, because with a little bit more desire he could have trapped that ball and Cavalier would have been in.
And I think also he just checked in a little bit. His run from deep brought him inside a bit too quickly. It was just a little bit too narrow, you feel, and so had to be stretching for it. But yeah, maybe needed to come around it and as you rightfully say, show more desire.
Lovely by Gioling, turning away from both Bygrave and McFarlane. One touch. Kenroy Campbell driven across that is driven into oblivion.
Yeah, more befitting of this arena. Flying into the stands, we would have seen a lot. 6 being hit here, but that was way off target. We see this game more evenly balanced now in this second half, and I think Cavalier giving as much as they're getting in the second half.
Are Dunbeholden the only team in the Premier League to play with 2 out-and-out strikers? I'm struggling to think of another team that does.
And giving some thought to that.
Here's Christian. Finds Phillips. McGregor is down. Christian, lovely pass into the path of Pusey. Pusey puts the cross in, and it's off the crossbar with Bartlett beaten. Bartlett backpedaling, thinking the flight of the ball would have gone harmlessly high. And it just took a dip and kissed the crossbar on the way over.
Yeah, just as we spoke about them not really pushing on in the second half, but yeah, Bartlett would have been relieved to see that one fly over the bar. It was again out of position. I think he didn't expect that to come.
Risky between McCarthy and Dyer, but they got away with it. They'll say they know what they were doing. Powell, Christian, ran away from him. Here's Atkinson. And Samuels on his job once again. Quickly through to make the clearance.
And you talk about the 2 strikers, you know, Cavalier, they said they set up 3-5-2 today, but that's not happening in terms of Atkinson and Webster playing as a front 2. But it's so good when we just saw the ball being passed to Bygrave. It's so good to have a focal point and strong that you can play it into.
Webster, Gibbons, Doxey, Irving. Not a wicked cross from him. This one high. Gibbons. Powell coming to close him down. Back to King. Can he do it one time? Yes, he can. But meat and drink for Damien Hyde. Yeah, on the 2 strikers point, I think Dunbeholden are the only ones though. I think Dunbeholden are the only ones. Dispute here over the goal kick. And whether or not Kenroy Campbell was illegally trying to block Damien Hyde's clearance or his goal kick. Hyatt certainly feels that way. Look at him, look at Hyatt. And look at Campbell. Campbell is saying he did nothing wrong, but the referee is saying he did. McCarthy. Dunbeholden trying to find the rhythm they had for much of that first half. McGregor.
I think the only team that, I was just checking through to see that the only team that I've seen at times trying to go may try to change their system.
Well, I can stop you there. I'm not even talking about a team that maybe does so at a phasing game. I'm talking a team that sits out to play 2 strikers up front every game.
At times,
and since McGregor has come to Dunbeholden, they're the only ones who play that way.
Yes, if you're talking about right throughout and it's their stock formation, then definitely Dunbeholden.
And the reason I raised the point, I was reading an article just last week about the death of 3-5-2, and that was an article in 2008. That was 14 years ago. They were saying 3-5-2 was dead. And Dunbeholden have reprised a formation that was de rigueur in international and club football not so long ago. With this man, since his appearance in the Premier League in March this year, he's been one of a pair up front. Nobody else plays that way as their stock formation, as Dwight Jeremiah says. And not many teams in world football at any level play with 2 men up front.
Yeah, not a lot, and you're right. And they're going between 3-5-2. I mean, they set up as a 4-4-2, but they're 2 wing backs. They push high, and then as you have McCarthy dropping in, so yeah, you get that type of rotation in the way they play that system. But like I said, it's very good to have those 2 big focal points. And they're working well together, as we just saw Bygrave there flicking on from McGregor.
But here's the point though. You'll have clubs with players of these characteristics in the team.
And yet still don't play.
Yeah, they drop one and try to play a falls 9 or falls this. Harold Thomas is uncomplicated. He has 2 strikers, he plays 2 strikers. McCarthy, clever once again.
Very calm as well.
And that's what I like about club and management and coaching, Dwight. You have two top players with these qualities. You don't bench one just because you want to play with one forward up front and play with a false nine or all this. As I said, you have two men with the qualities that McGregor and Bygrave have. You play both of them and ask the team to complement their strengths.
I'll tell you this, as a coach, I am for the notion of you don't set your formation and then try to have your team fit into it. You set your formation based on the players you have, and if I have 5 very good midfielders, then I'm going to play a system that accommodates those 5 midfielders.
Yes, sir. Irving in some space in the far side, central to Doxley, closed down by Powell. Doxley asked to switch the play, and he does so. Big diagonal to Gibbons. Header inside to Webster. First touch is good. Dyer challenges, and Christian is back there to help defend. This is Bygrave. Lovely first take by Bygrave. Good play to McGregor, and look at Kyle Ming again, the captain on his job. Very, very, very good interception there from Kyle Ming. He gets the high five from Richard King.
Yeah, good play there, but I'd love to see that one from that ball played into Webster from Gibbon, because I was wondering, did it bounce too high? Could he have finished or attempt to finish with the first touch? Like I said, back in match week 7 was the last time he scored against Montego Bay United. 59 minutes in that game he scored, almost 4 months to the day. And we look here, Gibbon heading back inside, and probably would have taken an acrobatic attempt, probably a scissors kick. Didn't realize he didn't have the time. Yeah, probably would have been better served to try and go at goal.
McCarthy wins the throw, but Cavalier and their approach this second half, they've disrupted the comfortable patterns that Dunbeholden was able at times to weave in that first half. And Dwight acknowledged that there was a bit more thrust from Rudolph Speed's team.
Yeah, I did ask him the question up against this midfield, this slick midfield. You're going to have to try out perform them or nullify them. I think they're doing a lot more to try and stop them playing now. But on the point of the Webster attempt, I think a more confident Webster would had a lot more goals under his belt, would have attempted something spectacular there to try and finish on goal.
Yeah.
That's down to confidence, I feel.
Dyer. Christian struck in the back of the head by Doxley. Needs some attention, Nicole Christian. At half-time, I saw him being treated for, as we see the play, a forearm to the back of the head. Doctor protecting himself, nothing wrong with that. Yeah, I saw Christian getting treatment for what appeared to be a rib injury. Dwight. And he seems to have run that off down to the court with his knock to the head.
You know, it's just a huge story. I was talking to the manager from Dunbeholden, and he was saying, you know, they're really operating on a very, very small, I would say, not really small, tiny budget. And he says it's just testimony to how they've managed to get this team to turn out the results this season on such a thin budget and a very small squad.
Nutsy doing a brisk trade. I've been telling Dwight that he can't eat peanuts and do commentary. It's a recipe for disaster.
I wouldn't try.
Samuels going long for Shaquem Powell. Bartlett shadows him without having to confront him. Colin Anderson is stripped, Dwight, and ready to come on for Cavalier. Who do you suppose that Rudolph Speed is looking to replace? Is it Dwayne Atkinson, who's been non-existent so far in the game?
Well, he probably would go. I've seen him substitute him in the past, but I think he knows, and you mentioned it on the back of the Caribbean Championship, that he was so good maybe just feel like he's a player that can pull something from the bag at any point in time. And as such, maybe he could look at and may look at Kenmore Campbell.
Well, Anderson will come in at the next break-in play. Meanwhile, here's Bygrave. Lovely first touch. Burton. Christian. Does he have a shot? Doesn't like to shoot. Oh, he gives the ball away, which is unlike him. Daniel Irving on the sprint. Lovely ball through to Owen. It was overhit. For a moment it looked lovely, but overhit for Dwayne Atkinson. And the man who's going to come off has number 8 in his jersey. I'm looking for an 8 here. I can't see an 8 on the Cavalier team. Meanwhile, Bartlett watches this one sail over his crossbar. So number 22 is coming in for Cavalier for sure. And or it's a number 6.
Yeah,
maybe Ricochet Murray.
Yeah, I think he's going to just try and sacrifice here. Or maybe just have someone drop deeper.
It'll be a rejig that you'll have to tell the viewers about when it happens, to see what happens with the central midfielder moved out and a winger brought on. Meanwhile, Christian couldn't keep that one in. So here's your change now, Dwight. 22 in, and it's Ricochet Murray's coming out. Yes, so number 6 out, number 22 in for Cavalier.
Substitutions for Cavalier.
I think he was playing with a 2 central midfielders in Irwin and Murray. Might just ditch that in the 5 in the middle of the park and just look to employ just one. So we'll see how it's set up. Doxalimine that might be asked to drop deep and sit in as the lone shield.
Here's Anderson, first involvement, and he wrestles McCarthy to the ground. They'll find that he's a bigger, stronger lad than Webster is, and certainly Atkinson can run for days. Colin Anderson, a converted track star from Calabar, and he's learning all the time. The Cavalier coaching staff have done a good job with him to make a footballer out of Colin Anderson. Pusey. Phillips was robbed. Here's Irving on the sprint. Irving. What does he do, Irving? Thought of the shot on the right foot. Ooh, didn't miss by much, Daniel Irving. They all were waiting for the left-footed cross, and he checked it on the right and went for the curler. Didn't miss by much, you know.
I'm wondering if Hyatt would have been close enough had that one curled into the far corner, because that one had pace. Yeah, I think he would have been way out there, nowhere close to that one. He overcompensated at the near post and had that one curled back enough, and Hyatt would be picking that ball out the back of the net.
Change being lined up by Dunbeholden as well. Kimani Gibbons. Well, the Rastaman, number 12, is getting ready to come on. Kimoni Bailey, beg your pardon.
It appears that Christian, because of all those bumps and bruises, you said you think he would have run off that hip or that rib injury.
Yeah.
Maybe not so.
Has not been his fluent best in the second half. Oh, lovely turn by Bygrave and hold down by Kyle. You must go into the book. And referee Nemard had his card out even before the foul had been completed.
And that was good play from Bygrave, just dropping into the middle of the park. And a lovely turn.
Yeah, the right side for Christian has been the problem, and he's upset. He doesn't want to leave the field. Nicoy Christian, he doesn't want to leave. Even the referee has come over now to beckon him to leave, and he's taking his own sweet time. The fourth official, Okita Nicholson, is calling him to leave, and he's killing time. Saniki Burton whispering in his ear, telling him, it's okay, baller. Acknowledges Kimoni Bailey, but he leaves the field. Nicoy Christian disappointed. that his afternoon has been cut short. We suspect by an injury, because we saw him getting treatment to the ribs, the right side, in the halftime break. Had to be helped to his feet by teammates as well. That's how serious it was. And he's taken out.
Yeah, I think Earl Thomas, the veteran, he knows he has a second leg to play. And like you said,
overhit by Bailey, but McGregor tried to get there and it flashed back in, and it turned behind by Gibbons for a corner. So Bailey making a nuisance of himself.
Yeah, Earl Thomas recognized what you said, George, that can't win it in this first leg, so he's securing him and trying to see if he can get him looking to recover for the second one, because that's going to be crucial. And from what we've seen with his replacement Bailey, I don't think they're going to lose much in terms of energy and threat.
Yeah, they won't lose anything in terms of energy, but creativity for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I was sure not to mention creativity.
Yeah, but Bailey will run and harry. Anyway, Phillips fires it to the back post. It's met by Kyle Ming, it may have been. Well, Gadale Irving. And here's Giovanni Leng. Oh, superior speed, blows by two Dunbeholden men. He needs help though, Colin Anderson rather. And he's gone again, Anderson. And it just took a touch too many. And it's run behind. It's a corner kick, but good from Cavalier Anderson. That's what he's good at, running with the ball in open space. And he turned what was a corner being defended by Cavalier into a corner that Cavalier has won.
Yeah, I think Sam was there, came across to engage him.
Look at the replay here.
Yeah.
Look at this. One touch. Gone.
It was Pusey who came by.
Yes, left him for dead.
And I think Dyer did well. He just waited and waited. Didn't commit himself because he knows if he goes in, just a change of pace.
Corner whipped in and competently handled by Damien Hyatt.
Yeah, just a change of pace would have really been to his detriment. So he just waited for Pusey and others to really just send him into his path. And once his touch was too heavy, then he engaged.
Bygrave to McCarthy. McCarthy will go from distance. And Bartlett was interested for a moment. McCarthy doesn't score many these days. Can't recall him scoring at all this season. As Bailey picks the pocket of Webster. McCarthy under pressure from Webster. And Webster wins the day. And gets the free kick. Quickly taken. Leng. Irving. Into the path of Atkinson, who's been very, very quiet in this game, Dwayne Atkinson. Wins a throw though.
Yeah, not really impacting the game as one would have come to expect with his pace and trickery.
Here he is again. Cross comes in. Too long for Gibbons.
I think with him on the part though, George, what Rudolph Speed is banking on is that as a coach, sometimes when you have these quality players, you know it's just one moment of brilliance that is required, and you just back them as long as possible for them to come up with that moment. But I think in terms of the change they made, they were looking like they were a 3-5-2 at the beginning of the game. I think now looking more like a 3-4-3, something they're more accustomed to. And Doxley are part of that four deepest.
McGregor headed that in the wrong direction and has brought pressure on his team because they've given away a throw deeper into their territory. As Cavalier push for this equalizer. Bailey. Bygrave. Away from Kyle Ming, who's on a yellow card. This is Bygrave driving into the box. Checks in on the right foot. Still Bygrave goes down. And the crowd are baying for a penalty. Mr. Nemhard ignores them. And then McGregor, out of frustration, grabbing Richard King. And Nemhard is saying the referee that wasn't a penalty, that wasn't an infringement. And I'm in charge of the game. I thought Bygrave just fell over. What say you, Dwight?
And I'm having a look here.
He was held.
A little tug on the shirt, but yeah. I'm thinking them are saying not enough for him to have gone down. Yeah, and he fell forward as well. But
Meanwhile,
this angle.
a fracas broken out among the players. Yeah, his shirt was being held. I didn't give him that though.
Yeah.
I didn't give that as a penalty. I'm sorry.
And he went down.
Red
Big
card.
lad.
Red card to Pusey. Oh my. Dunbeholden are losing their heads. Cleon Pusey has been given a straight red card by Verizon Nemhard. So the dispute out of that situation, and the bench is raging. Look at the manager, Christie, raging at Cleon Pusey for being so stupid.
Yeah, certainly as a coach, I would be fuming mad with that, because we don't change a referee's decision like that. You're leading the game by a goal to nil, and you're going to get more chances in it. And the player that was fouled, mind you, he was on the ground, but he wasn't irate, and a lot of the other players in that little fracas wasn't. And Pusey just went and might have just given the impetus here to Cavalier.
Wow. So what do we have here? A yellow card being dished out to Giovanni Leng. Referee Nemhard is not done. Phillips is going to go into the book as we're seeing a replay of what happened. So, all happening here, and have Dunbeholden just pressed the self-destruct button because Pusey's off. Phillips has been yellow carded. Giovanni Leng has been yellow carded for Cavalier. And we're in the 82nd minute. And why would a Dunbeholden player get himself red carded when the game had been stopped and his team in no danger? Only Cleon Pusey would know. Anyway.
And I think that the manager, Christie, was so irate as well, because he's thinking also of the second leg. Oh yeah, so it was with Vino Bartley that he had the confrontation with, probably a slap to Bartlett. I think that's the case.
Yeah, no option for the referee but to send him off. Meanwhile, Shadane Lopez is coming in for Cavalier. Lopez is in and Giovanni Leng is off. So they've removed Leng, who was just yellow carded, taken out a defender and put in an attacker. So Rudolph Speed going for it. He's removed the defender, put in an attacker, because Dunbeholden are down to 10 men. They're shorn one defender, Dunbeholden. A defender who played well for them up to that point.
Yeah, certainly. He's there as their right back.
Bygrave, oh, he's deemed to have just pushed Daniel Irving out of the way. You were saying, right?
Nah, I probably lost my thought there just now.
Meanwhile, Webster got the head to that one. Oh, Bailey dangerously controlling it in his 18-yard box. Should have cleared first time, I would have thought. Upfield, McGregor under pressure, and he's wrestled to the ground by Gibbons. The Dunbeholden bench and fans, they want to see something red flashed. That's not even a bookable offense. It was a foul, clear, but nothing more.
Yeah, definitely an infringement there, but because of where it took place on the park, probably get away with that one. If that one was further up the park, pretty much a yellow card would have been given, because he would be stopping a promising attacking play.
Wow.
But Cavalier will know. They would have seen in the playoffs, Arnett Garden, they had the opportunity against our Harborview team playing with 10 men. And still couldn't get the better of them, so man advantage is good.
Sportsman's app moment coming up now. And it's from the first half. Nicoy Christian to Peter McGregor. And he hits the money spot. McGregor does. 1-0 in the first half. Still 1-0 in the game. That's the Sportsmax app moment. Download the Sportsmax app now to watch all the best. The NBA, Champions League, horse racing from Kimanas Park, Commonwealth Games coming up. big-time netball competitions, the best of British horse racing. A lot to unpack in that. Here's Bygrave.
The more I saw the goal, George, I realized it was really, he was on challenge, but a good header. Really.
Here's Bygrave. Oh, miscommunication between the two front men. McGregor didn't want the pass there. Almost as if Bygrave ran out of ideas the closer he got to goal. Here's Campbell for Cavalier. Can they find the equalizer? Cross comes in. Knocked near side by McCarthy. How much work has Fabian McCarthy put in for this Dunbeholden team today? I'll answer my own question. A lot.
You're certainly right with that.
Doxley's pass is beautiful into the path of Campbell. And it needed a cross, but that was a cross-come shot. Not what was required by the boys in white.
Yeah, short-come cross. He was looking for the shot first. Whichever way you want to play it. But yeah, this Dunbeholden team, the rest, now we will see how conditioned they are. And they are coming off a 2-week break. Definitely these 10 players on the park are going to have to work a lot.
Samuel's down on his haunches, but there's a man flattened out over on the far side of the pitch. Maybe Phillips. Harold Thomas consulting with his assistant Ricardo Smith. Meanwhile, the manager, Christie, is doling out instructions to the players, trying to get them to keep their heads. It's actually McGregor who's getting treatment. And if knowing how well these players know the game, Dwight, that could have been just a breather for the team to collect their senses as they near the finish line in this first leg. It may not necessarily be an injury.
Certainly. I remember the shoe was on the other foot in the regular round, and it was Bartlett who was in goal for Cavalier. Went down about 4 times, and in the post-match interview, I asked him what was the injury, and he said, I really wasn't injured, you know, I was just trying to manage the game.
There you go.
So maybe he's getting a little taste of his own medicine here.
Sean Dewar preparing to come in, the centre half.
Yeah, said he was disappointed not to start, but he trusts his technical team. They made a decision, he stick by it, and now he's been asked to just carry it home here.
Maybe a groin problem that's bothering Peter McGregor. Look at him behind the goal and the way he's stretching. That's the universal groin stretch.
He was showing some signs from in the first half. Just moved a little gingerly, then looked to run it off. I think they're going to want to wrap him up in cotton here now.
Yeah, he's coming out for sure, confirmed by the numbers flipped by the 4th official just now. So a striker will be replaced by a defender as Dunbeholden try to see this one through, see this one out.
Yeah, quite the opposite to what Cavalier did, pulled out a defender and put in a striker.
Yeah.
So McGregor, he's out, having scored what seemed to be the winning goal for this game at this point.
Here's Dox. There's a lot of time to pick a target for this cross. Campbell fired it in. It's headed goalwards by Gibbons, but weak. And Hyatt can waste some time. Minute. Booming goal kick by Damien Hyatt. Dunbeholden not committing too many forward now as Doxley onto the chest of Campbell, but shadowing him was Phillips. Good defending.
It's almost a back 5 or 6 times for this Dunbeholden team looking to close this one out, and they've been good defensively.
It's a back 6 I'm counting now. McCarthy there again. How much work has this man put in? He's a candidate for the man of the match for me.
He's huge in there. He's huge in there because, yes, McGregor has scored and has put in some work, but what he has done, McCarthy, as a holding midfielder / centre half, has just been huge. It's been massive for this Dunbeholden team.
Atkinson with the corner, poor to the top of the 18, headed away. This is Irving, met by Samuels. Bygrave sprints after it and forcing the pass back to Bartlett.
I mean, Christian was good in the first half.
Yeah, first half.
And did well. Second half faded. I think a complete all-round game.
McCarthy again with a brave header. And shoulder to shoulder with Lopez. Battling away, and McCarthy has won, but he has to be my man of the match.
Yeah, I was about to tell you, George, that with that header, he just sealed it. Again, was in, and not just the positioning, the anticipation to be there to sniff out the danger, certainly is my pick as well. And yes, McGregor's goal would have, at this point, seemed to have won it. But certainly, it's on the back of a very sturdy, very smart performance from McGregor. From McCarthy. Thing is this, if you look at Kyle Ming, who's played very well for Cavalier today, but he made one mistake. Yes.
He didn't pick up McGregor quickly enough on the header that McGregor scored. McCarthy, and we hope we don't put the commentator's curse on him, McCarthy hasn't put a foot wrong defensively.
No, every time that Dunbeholden needs him in a position, be it holding mid or a centre back. In fact, I've seen him going across to the wing back position to assist as well. He has been massive, just massive, and for sure the purists, when they watch this game, would have recognized that and certainly would have agreed with us.
So I was in
he's the man of the match.
Man down, Bygrave trying to buy a free kick. Nemhard not interested as McCarthy sends Bailey chasing this one, has the speed to gather. McCarthy to Bale. Does he head for the corner flag? No. He's trying to find Bygrave. Ambitious pass, just cut out. Remember, Cavalier playing with a man advantage. Here's Lopez into the path of Atkinson, but Hyatt high in his box, as he has to be, given that his team is defending one man short, or playing one man short. I was thinking I was in halfway through on Saturday at a stoplight, window was down, and a man saw me and said, "McCarthy." So I said, "Huh?" He said, "Oh, I thought you were Fabian McCarthy." I said, "Well, McCarthy must feel good because it means he's a good-looking guy." Bygrave with the shot is blocked by Richard.
I was about to twist it the other way, but only George would twist it that way. I was about to say George must be well pleased for him to say that he was such a good player. But yeah, your goal is going to twist it your way.
No. But I was sat in my car. So
maybe he would have seen you at some a Liga game.
Well, maybe. Bossing the midfield, as I usually do. Here's Webster to Atkinson, and McCarthy just robbed him, just knocked it away at the vital moment. Foot race between Ming and Powell. Ming wins that race. Cavalier pressing. This game is not over yet, as in the words of a former Jamaica Prime Minister after her party lost. Yeah, not over yet, but Hyatt wasting some time, running some clock.
If you go by that statement, it was over at the time.
It actually was.
So it might just be over. But this game for this man, yes, but he knows 90 minutes is still to come, and it's only a goal in it. But this man's team about to record their 8th win of the season by a single goal, or just one goal and a clean sheet. So
Bailey's down. He needs to get back up. It means his team only have 8 outfield players. They're short-handed. You can't be feigning injury at this time of the game, and he's beating the turf, Kimoni Bailey. And the referee sees him now as he slaps the turf in frustration. He's really putting on a performance, Kimoni Bailey.
If it's just a performance, because he's looking at that left foot, and we know these players to miraculously get back to their feet.
I think he's really hurt.
Yeah.
Let's see what happened.
Oh, yes. Real awkward fall there, just rolling over that ankle and then jarring the knee as well.
And he won't be feeling the worst effects of it now because his blood is hot.
Yeah.
But later, when his body cools down, very bad to see. Can't even put weight on it, Kimoni Bailey.
Yeah,
and he's being Vina Bartlett, the
Yeah, and referee Nema did tell King already, you're not allowed to touch the opponent with the injury.
Exactly.
Bartlett hasn't had much to do, so he has a lot of energy and strength.
I've never seen that before.
Volunteering to be the stretcher bearer.
Bailey didn't realize what was going on until late, and he realizes that, oh, hey, who are you? What? Meanwhile, back to live action we go. King brings it under his spell. Still King. Pass to Lopez. Has a chance, and McCarthy. The wall named McCarthy. It's not the Berlin wall. It's the McCarthy wall.
And he's not pleased. He doesn't think he's getting enough from his players, even fresh players coming on, that came on. He's been out there for 95. We've gone into 96 minutes. Nemhard has been known to play these lengthy time added on.
Irving with this free kick, this corner, made by Mario Phillips. It's another one. Phillips alleging he was fouled by Atkinson, who's been disappointing for Cavalier.
Last season, this very referee Nemhard played all of 6 or 7 minutes. It was Cavalier against Harborview. Harborview was leading by a goal to nil. They got the equalizer.
Bartlett is up in the Dunbeholden box as well. And Nemhard has seen enough. Dunbeholden, hold on. They see this one through. A first half strike from Peter McGregor, a header. Settling this first leg. And it's effectively only half time in this semi-final. There's a second leg to be played in a few days' time. But Dunbeholden have an advantage given to them by that man taking on the fluids, Peter McGregor. They assist by the man sitting on the igloo, Peter McCoy Christian. And that's how they essed the advantage that they will take into leg 2 of this semi-final. Dunbeholden 1, Cavalier 0, the defending champions with work to do. So Dunbeholden taking care of Cavalier 1-0. Let's roll the highlights. The one chance that Cavalier, you could say they got, wasn't really a chance. It was an error by Hyatt. He didn't make a connection with his attempted punch away, and indebted to Samuels for clearing his lines forward. Then Shaquem Powell finds Bygrave. He will run at Richard King. And he's trying across to find McGregor, but it's blocked by King. And Bygrave looking brighter than we've seen him in recent weeks. And then this moment, swinging free kick from Nicole Christian onto the head of McGregor. And too easy for a striker of his class, too easy for any striker. A striker must be under challenge in the 18-yard box, can't be given easy headers. And it's an easy header that Cavalier gave up to Peter McGregor. He accepted it with a clean. Phillips fires this one, and McGregor again on the money with the left side of the goal gaping. He didn't even ask a question of the keeper. Disappointing of Peter McGregor. Lovely free kick from the Mario Phillips. Dunbeholden may have had 2. Then Irving and Dyer. The cannon of Kenroy Campbell and over the bar. Leng forward to Campbell. Irving puts in another wicked delivery, and Burton tracking back well and intercepting before Webster could get in on it. Christian Phillips hops it over to Pusey, who was red carded in the melee, and they kissed the junction between crossbar and supporting stanchion. With Bartlett beaten, he thought he had seen it out to safety. Really had not. Gadale Irving galloping down the left, cuts in on the right, and he went very close with this, bending all the time, but not in time to get inside the left-hand post. And that's as close as Cavalier got. Then Bygrave bursting through. Ming on a yellow card, so He was very hesitant to engage. Grabbed by Graves' shirt right there. He went down. That ought to have been a penalty. Missed. Well, not missed. Nemhard was on point. His positioning was good, but he decided that Bygrave went down easily. Didn't give the penalty. And Pusey appeared to strike Bartlett in the face, given a straight red card by Veralton Nemhard. Dunbeholden finished the game with 10 men, but they saw it out to take a 1-0 lead into semi-final 2. The numbers from the first half: only 1 shot on target, that one from Dunbeholden. 16 fouls, 8 apiece. 4 yellow cards, 2 apiece, 1 red card. That one to Cleon Pusey for Dunbeholden. 14 corners, 8 to Cavalier, and Dunbeholden had 51% possession. Chris Taylor isn't here, but Dwight Jeremiah is, and he is standing by with our man of the match.
Yes, Fabian, a really good performance from you today all over the park. We saw you were left back, you were centre off, you were holding midfielder, you were attacking midfielder. How difficult a game was it for you today?
I wouldn't call it difficult, but that comes with experience, because we've been doing this for a minute now, and it wasn't an easy one, but I wouldn't say it's difficult.
In terms of the condition, in the end, you had to play with 10 players for maybe about 10 minutes of the game. How would you rate the way that your team performed at that time?
In football, like most of the times when you go down short, like everybody now click on even more, because you said, okay, we short one, so everybody willing to double up.
What do you look for now for the second leg coming up?
Coming forward to the second leg, we just look for another victory and come and play hard and hope and pray for the 3 points. That's what we're coming for.
Great performance from you today. I don't know if to call you a centre off or a holding mid, but it was a good performance today.
I appreciate it. Thanks much, man.
Thanks much. So McCarthy there certainly put in a very good shift in the game, and we're now going to speak with Rudolph. Not the type of result that he wanted, but what do you make of your team's performance?
Oh, not very good. We weren't clinical in front of goal as usual, but the good thing is just one. You know?
Yeah, that's the good thing about it. Atkinson didn't really come to the party today. Is he fully fit?
No, we're having some niggling injuries, but the truth is he was playing too wide most of the time. As when in the second half, when he went back inside, you could see him making more inroads into the game.
What must you change now for the second leg?
Well, I mean, I just say I can see a little fatigue on some of the players, so I'll have to try and freshen up the squad and come back. But there will be we have to attack. They are going to defend, so that's the game plan easy.
Well, a change of the script for you the next time around. All right then, Coach Speed.
Okay.
So Speed there, know that he has a task here if he's going to defend his title. This man is looking to unseat him. Ricardo, in terms of the performance, what do you make of it?
Yeah, a workman-like performance today. From the goalkeeper up to the strikers, I can say everybody worked today. You know, we went a man down and you could see the extra effort from each player. And I'm thankful for the win today. And that 1-0, you know, take it over to the second leg.
About the man down, what do you make of the reaction of the player?
Honestly, I haven't seen it. You know, I wasn't looking that side at the time, so I'm not aware of what really happened. But judging from what the players are saying, he's at fault. He was wrong for what he did. But I have to see the replay to see exactly what happened.
Final one, in terms of a penalty on Bygrave, did you see that one and do you feel it should have been a penalty?
It looks like a clear penalty. I don't know what you guys think, but from my end it looks like a penalty. He said he was fouled, but I don't know.
It looks that way, but yeah, you're still leading, so maybe you can take it easy at that time. All right, good performance. Yeah.
So at the end of 90 minutes, Dunbeholden leading Cavalier 1-0, and they take this advantage into the second semi-final coming up in a few days' time later on this week.
for the third season in a row, this Waterhouse team is expected to win the league. Now you have an opponent today in Harbourview, as you had said, resurrected. How do you assess them today, and how do you stop their resurrection?
Well, Harbourview is a really good team, as you said. Just like how Christ risen on the third day, Harbourview would have risen in 3 days of their normal competition. But you know that Harbourview is a good team. Yes, you would have said that we have over the years would have been a team that consistently reaches this stage, but we're looking forward to basically take our chances because we want to start well. If we start well, we should be able to manage and finish the game early.
In terms of the Harbourview, what do you make of them as a team?
Yeah, it's a really good unit. They have quality players. Trayvon Reed, their top scorer. Nicholas Hamilton, their Kasim Priestley, and at the back they have a Dyer and also a good goalkeeper, young goalkeeper. So yes, Harbourview is definitely a good team.
All right, let's see what you can do with them today. All the best.
Man, thank you very much.
Coach Bernard. Go again. Coach Bernard, how is it that you're going to make this a third time lucky? Because you've played Waterhouse twice this season, you've lost to them. Assess them and tell me, how do you get the better of them?
Well, I know it's not going to be an easy task. However, I think it is very important what we do today. We come with a particular approach that we're going to take, considering that we played a game on Thursday, you know, and I was observing the previous game and I was probably looking at the conditioning of the